A flashback scene shows Vanessa making a sword, while young Noel tries talking to her, but she just ignores the girl and focuses on the sword that she is making. All that can be heard in the house is the sound of the hammer against the sword, making a clunking sound. At one point, Noel tries lifting a sword, but she falls down, and Vanessa doesn't even care. This continued for days, causing Noel to be frustrated. She complains about how Vanessa only sits down to make a sword, and after complaining without any changes, she passes out. By the time she wakes up, Vanessa is done producing a beautiful sword that even catches Noel's attention. Now in the present day, Noel begs Alan to cut down the monster in front of them. Alan says he has no reason to cut down the monster because it is basically sleeping, away from civilization. It seems Noel has a personal vendetta with the beast, but Alan lets her know that he is not ready to help her carry out her little revenge plan. Noel wants to go after the monster by herself, but Alan stops her. He lets her know that the monster, which is a Fenrir, has a barrier that takes down any attack that is below a certain level. Alan tells her that only a certain level of sword can take down the monster, and an example of this is a sacred sword. Noel says her sword can do this, but Alan knows she is lying and cautions her about doing something that she will later regret. Alan lets her know that he is not going to stop her if she insists on attacking the monsters. Alan leaves after saying this, and Noel has a rethink about it too, and decides not to get past her boundaries. They return home to tell Beatrice and Lisa about the Fenrir that they saw inside the forest. Alan believes that the Fenrir was brought by someone to the borderland because it was cloaked in some kind of power. Alan lets them know that he has a hunch about this, but doesn't have a shred of concrete evidence just yet. He then asks the two if they have concluded their business. This leaves the two shocked, and Alan lets them know that he is aware of the fact that the two have other business in the borderland, and they are not just there to make him a sword. Lisa admits to this and tells Alan that some months ago, a general, Cyril, was terminated, and there was no evidence left behind. They have used all the powers that they can use to get something out of the scene, but nothing is working. This makes them conclude that the responsible party is a demon, and this is because demons use powers that are different from theirs. Alan wonders why a demon would want to terminate a high-ranking official and a human, for that matter. They are known to not interfere in political businesses, which makes it more complicated for him. Lisa then tells him that they are looking for clues, and this is the reason they came to the town. Alan then says he is not sure if he is right, but he thinks he has met the person who might be responsible. Meanwhile, Mylene has found out about Alan, and this leaves her surprised. She wonders what sort of power the guy is using and realizes that Alan is not just a trivial opponent like her master assumed. When she got back to Horus, he asked her about what she had learned, but Mylene decided to withhold information by telling Horus that she found nothing. Horus then says it might be good for them to leave because there is no fun in the town. However, Horus wants Mylene to terminate Lisa and Noel before they do. This order leaves her in total shock, and Horus notices this. He wastes no time in reminding her that he is her master. Apparently, Horus has a spell on Mylene that gets her to do whatever she wants. Later on, Noel is seen trying to make a sword that will be strong enough to land a blow on the Fenrir. Alan has explained everything that will make her build the sword in the right direction. She soon gets tired and passes out. A flashback scene shows young Noel trapped in the house while Vanessa fights the Fenrir outside. It turns out that the Fenrir is under Horus's control, and they want to terminate her because she is a skilled smith. They can't leave her to continue making powerful swords. Vanessa tries her best against the demon, but ends up getting terminated while Noel watches on. After terminating Vanessa, the Fenrir goes after Noel, but the hero shows up right on time to stop the beast. He hits the beast with a lightning strike, but the beast still manages to stand up. He goes after the beast again and lands a shot that seems fatal, forcing Horus and the Fenrir to withdraw to avoid further engagement. After everything is settled, Noel stands up and sits beside her mentor's corpse, crying about the fact that all of her hard work has gone to waste. Now, in the present day, Noel finishes up with the modification of the sword and starts heading to the woods. She finds the Fenrir, and she's about to attack it when the Fenrir wakes up, pushing her away. She sustains a fatal hit, but still manages to stand up even though she is weak. Horus then shows up, applauding the fact that Noel is able to stand up even after getting hit by the Fenrir. Noel talks about Vanessa, and this is when Horus realizes that Noel is the young girl who was with Vanessa the day she died. She considers it poetic that Noel and her master are both going to die at the hands of the Fenrir. Noel gets angry and goes after the beast one more time, but the beast jumps over her, delivering a backshot to keep her on the ground. Noel tries crawling toward her sword with the hope that she can take down the beast if she can just land a single slash on it. Horus then offers Noel the chance to work for him. He lets her know that the gift that she possesses is very rare, and this is the reason he needs her. He lets know that Mylene also has a rare gift, and this is the reason she is working for him. It turns out that the girl no longer has a family she can call her own, and this is because Horus and his people wiped them out. Noel blatantly refuses the offer, telling Horus that she would rather die than become his slave. Horus is disappointed to hear this, as he is expecting Noel to make the smart choice of joining him. He calls Noel a shame and orders the Fenrir to eliminate her. Just then, Alan shows up and stops this. Horus doesn't seem surprised to see Alan. He makes fun of him and lets him know that he is not going to have the time to return home to save the princess. Apparently, the princess is in danger because Mylene is after her. However, Beatrice and Lisa have laid a trap for the invincible lady, and they already have her trapped. Alan laughs when he hears Horus talk about this. He tells Horus that he has already put up a barrier that nullifies invincibility before leaving the house. Alan says he is used to schemes like this in his past life, and there is no way he is falling for something like that again. Horus is shocked to hear Alan talk about a past life, and this leaves her confused. Meanwhile, Beatrice and Mylene are battling it out. Beatrice is about to end her with a powerful slash, but the princess stops her. Beatrice gets distracted by this, and Mylene gets the drop on her. Mylene goes after the princess, but finds it hard to go through with terminating her. Lisa looks into her eyes, talking about how Mylene is really not a bad person. Mylene is also distracted by this, and Beatrice already recovers. Beatrice hits Mylene in the back and knocks her out. Back in the woods, Alan tells Horus that his assassination plan has failed, but he doesn't want to believe this. Alan is not ready to argue with him and tells him that he is free to assume that he is bluffing. Horus then changes the topic, boasting that there is nothing Alan can do to them because he doesn't have a sacred sword that he can use on the beast. Horus orders the beast to go after Alan, and Noel already fears for the guy's life. The beast charges toward Alan, but Alan takes him down with just a slash from his sword, leaving Horus in total shock. He wastes no time in retreating because he realizes that he is in danger if he stays any longer. Alan then carries Noel on his back because she fell asleep after he healed her. They get home and they are welcomed by Lise. She is relieved to find out that Noel is safe and sound. Just then, Noel wakes up and realizes that Alan is carrying her. She throws a tantrum, telling the guy to drop her because he never took permission from her. Later on, the four gather in front of Mylene. She is tied to a chair, and Alan reveals that he has removed the slave spell on her, which should now allow her to talk freely. Mylene decides to keep mute, and Beatrice suggests that they take her to the capital where she is going to face trial. Lisi doesn't want this to happen because she believes that Mylene is not a bad person. Beatrice tries to remind Lisi that Mylene tried to terminate her. Lise then says Mylene didn't come after her by her own will. She was under Horus's influence, and she assumes that Mylene will have people that she is going to return to. Just then, Mylene speaks out, telling them that she has nowhere to return to because everything she knows has been burned down. This reminds Noel of the first day that Vanessa found her. Vanessa carried her like her own child, telling her that they were headed home. Noel then cuts Mylene loose. She suggests that she come with her to their home. Noel assures the others that she is going to take care of the girl. Beatrice says the girl might come after Lisa again, but Noel lets her know that she is not going to let that happen. Mylene gets emotional from this and starts to sob. Alan is relieved to find out that the problem has been solved, and he heaves a sigh of relief. Later on, Alan makes his way into the woods and activates his high-speed technique. Horus is on the other end of the forest, and he is resting. He believes that he has made it far away enough for Alan to get to him. He starts to wonder what sort of power the guy is wielding. He is in the middle of this thought when he senses something coming at him at a blinding speed. It turns out that Horus has another enemy who is not Alan. A black figure appears behind Horus and does something bad to him. By the time Alan gets there, Horus is no longer Horus again. Moments later, the black figure is seen in the Westfelt residence, talking to Alan's father and Brett. It turns out that the black figure is a demon, and he is working with the Westfelt family. He assures Alan's father that he has taken care of Horus before he can leak any information. He is going to take care of Noel and Lisa after this. Alan's father then says he is going to handle the hero and the archbishop on his own part. Brett then tells his father to leave the archbishop to him because he is confident that he is going to eliminate him without fail.